Hello, Wellness Warriors. So today's video is based on my Saturday video, which was called, Does Keto Suppress Appetite? Today we're talking more generally about appetite suppression. So I want to start off by talking about that definition again, that pesky definition of what is appetite suppression. And basically, what suppression really means is that we are forcibly putting a stop to something and trying to block it from being there. And one of the things that I want us to understand is why we would want to suppress an appetite, and then why we wouldn't want. So let's start with why we would. The number one reason that we would want to suppress appetite would be to allow someone to lose weight, right? To allow someone to feel like they're in control of their eating. So if I suppress someone's appetite, whether that be with medication or hypnosis, or if I somehow was able to get in there and block their feeling of, so what's appetite? My desire to eat food. If somehow I was able to get in there and just block that, then the person's desire to eat food would taper away. I want us to be very clear about something. Just because my desire to eat food isn't there doesn't mean that I wouldn't feel hunger. That's a separate thing, right? Hunger is my body pushing me, telling me you need to eat. So I would still feel those hunger pangs. So we would also need something that was going to block those feelings, just for clarity. Now, some medications can actually do that. Okay. One of the reasons that we might want to do this is because people often eat because they want to. Eat because eating is seen as fun, as entertainment, seen as social. Even just the fact that I like the thing that's being presented to me might get me to eat when I'm not actually hungry. So if I understand that I do that, that's a reason that you might want your appetite to be suppressed, because it would take away that part. It would take away the, I just want to eat it because I like that I see food, I want to eat food part. Again, would it mess with my cravings if there's a really specific food that I love? Possibly. Now, there are a lot of social pressures that we feel to that push us to want to. So we want to be like everybody else. That's another thing, that this kind of jealousy, fear of missing out idea that makes us want to eat food. So again, it makes us have this appetite. And again, if we didn't have an appetite, we might not feel like we're missing out, because like we'd be presented with the stuff and we'd just be like, no, I don't want it. So I'm not going to feel like I'm missing out on anything. Now, here's the thing. Why would we not want to suppress appetite? Because I think that's much more interesting. See, as humans, we have this ability to take things too far. And we see this. Give me control of something, like a real control of it, and I might use it in a way that actually is damaging to me, because I can't see the forest for the trees, right? And sometimes when you give people control of things that we really shouldn't have control over, because let's be careful about this. I do not believe that there is a diet that will suppress your appetite. But I do believe that, yes, with medication or extreme measures, we can create the story where your appetite is suppressed. But it's two different things. And a diet, so a way of eating, is normal for humans to do. And therefore, as much as we might want a diet to suppress appetite, it's not going to do that, because we are still in control of what we decide and how we decide to manage that diet, right? Those foods that are coming into us. So I've known people who were willing to eat one actual food. So egg diet, cabbage diet, like one food for extended periods of time, because their number one goal was lose weight. The number one goal was not be healthy. So if I'm willing to go to that extreme, again, giving me a medication, which I've seen that as well, where someone's taking a medication and they notice, oh, the side effect of this medication is that it's blocking that I want to eat thing, as even blocking the hunger thing. And all of a sudden, the person who was reluctant to take the medication, all of a sudden is enthusiastic to take the medication and is even taking more of the medication than they should be, which is where we end up getting into trouble, because there's a certain amount of medication for a reason. And if I'm overdoing it because of another side effect, I see problems can arise. I want us to really be careful about this, the reality that sometimes when we're put in the position of controlling things we shouldn't, we can take things too far. The third thing I want to talk about that is a bit dangerous when it comes to having something actually suppress our appetite, and why we should not want to do this, is it creates the situation where this outside force is dictating what Violet's going to eat. So that also means that I would need this outside force forever. Now, if keto actually did suppress appetite, that wouldn't be a problem. But since it doesn't, and we know it doesn't, then this is still not going to work. This is going to be problematic, right? If I need to take a medication, or I need to be in a certain situation for me to feel that there's some kind of control over what I'm eating, then I'm not really learning what's healthy or not healthy. I'm not doing this in a healthy way. And I really just want us all to be scared of that. Honestly, I don't want you looking for an escape route. I want you looking for solutions. So, can we just talk about the word appetite for a second? An appetite just means I want to eat food. I feel the desire to eat. I'm open to eating, right? Like, that's what an appetite is. And typically when we're hungry, our appetite shows up. However, you can also be not hungry at all and be presented a fun food, as I mentioned in that video from Saturday, and want to eat it. Now, there's another scenario that can happen where you don't even need to be presented with something, but you could have a craving, which is a very strong desire to eat a specific food. Although cravings tend to revolve around fun foods, so they're usually not healthy foods, it's also possible to crave healthy foods. And it's possible even to crave healthy foods and feel out of control with even healthy foods. And this goes back to this idea of how much carb content is in even that potentially healthy food, and how much of it do I eat. It's rare, although it happens, but it's rare that people overdo their cravings for example, meats. But I will hear often of people overdoing their cravings for carb-based foods. And really, what I'm trying to get everyone to think about is that if I always look for external sources to control Violet, then I open the door that Violet's going to get into trouble. Because I'm opening this door to me not knowing how to manage what I'm eating, just because I'm allowing, so this idea of a suppression, so I'm allowing this thing to suppress my appetite, so I don't have to do it. I should want to do it. So it shouldn't be a have to, it should be a want to. Now, I also want us to think about something. When I am craving and I choose a fun food, that's Violet taking a decision. The same way that if rather than leaning on some kind of suppression idea, I understand what satiation really means. So that's the other definition I gave in the video. When I'm satiated, what it really means is that I've given my body enough energy and building blocks. And I know that I've given my body enough energy and building blocks because my hunger stops being there. So when my hunger is no longer there, I've given my body enough. There's two different scenarios that I could see where I could make a mistake here. Because if I feel hungry and rather than eating healthy foods, I allow myself, for example, to eat cookies and chips and cake, I will give my body enough energy in this moment to let me feel satiated. However, in a few hours, I'll be hungry again because I didn't give my body the correct building blocks. I do believe that when we're talking about whether or not keto suppresses appetite, this is what's confusing people. That they're looking at this idea that because Violet doesn't chase food throughout her day, her appetite is being suppressed. When in fact, the only reason that I don't chase foods throughout the course of the day is because I've eaten enough energy and building blocks that my body was able to have enough so that I could pass 24 hours without needing to refuel and without needing to get more building blocks. Does that mean that I pass an entire day without feeling any sense of hunger or any desire to eat something? Actually, no, it doesn't, right? Occasionally, I'll get that signal that you need something. Now, sometimes I'll be fair and point out that I don't drink a lot during the day. So sometimes that's just my body trying to get me to get water. And I have figured that piece of the puzzle out. So often, the first thing I'll do is drink some water. Now, why do I do that? Because I figured out that if I drink water when in fact I'm hungry, so my body wasn't looking for water, it was looking for food, not even 10 minutes later, my body will send me another signal. However, if I drink water when my body was looking for water, I'll be able to go another few hours without getting any more signals. And I get another signal in a few hours because I'm just that stubborn and I don't think about drinking water. I know Pat gets annoyed with me all the time. But in reality, we need to understand that our body has the ability to give us signals. It cannot tell us specifically what it's looking for. So we also need to be able to interpret the information that our body is giving to us. So, if I choose to eat fun foods when it's time, so when I get that signal that I'm hungry, will I be chasing? Yes. If I choose to eat a healthy meal every time I get hungry, which is what I was doing at the beginning. I was having, at the very beginning, 3 meals a day, and I was having 3 healthy, so keto-focused meals. And then it went down to 2 healthy keto-focused meals. And now it's 1 healthy keto meal. And the reason that I can go that distance between is not because my appetite's suppressed, it's because I'm satiated with the 1 meal that I eat. And I'm not shy to eat, right? And whether there's veg on the plate today or not isn't the issue, because sometimes I have veg, sometimes I don't. But what I do is make sure that whatever I'm eating, it's got enough protein in there to do some building, and it's got enough energy on the plate, whether that's coming strictly from fat or whether it's coming from fat and a little bit of carb, to get me till tomorrow. I hope that I've explained why suppression, so keto doesn't suppress your appetite. I really feel that this idea causes people to make mistakes because it makes them think that if they are still hungry at some point during the day, they're doing something wrong, and that's not reality. Being hungry during the day is normal. Wanting to eat something that you see that's fun is normal. So having an appetite is normal. and keto doesn't suppress appetite. I want to just take a moment to talk about I got on the actual video from Saturday about keto suppressing appetite from Sandy Brown, and she wrote that ketosis allows me to go longer without feeling hungry. I could easily go on an extended fast. I assume it's because I'm burning stored body fat. So eating carbs makes me hungry again after a few hours and craving. So I don't track anything when eating low carb, just till satisfied. So one of the things I loved about this was the acknowledgement that it's being in ketosis that's allowing her to go extended periods of time without eating. I do feel that when we understand why we're able to do what we're doing, then we're much more likely to be successful in what we're doing. So I wanted to highlight this video, and I think I'm going to start doing that going forward. I'm going to pick a comment from the video to highlight so that we can really see either a good question or an explanation of something, or just something that touches on the topic that we were talking about. And I really feel like Sandy hit the nail on the head. If you're in ketosis, your body always has that option to pull some fat from you when you need more energy. And it does allow you to get from meal 1 to meal 2, or to do your 24 hours, or even to do an extended fast, as she's saying, and not struggle. But that's not suppression of appetite. So I love that. And I'm going to say goodbye. I have to get prepared for some other work that I need to do today. I love when you guys come by, Wellness Warriors. I love making these videos for you. And everybody who's new, subscribe. I didn't say that yet. Subscribe, because I make these videos every week. I want to thank you for watching. I can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.